Boom! Welcome back to the Second American Revolution. My name is Gabe the Great. Let's get straight into it. So today what I want to talk about is how every act of oppression is self-defeating. Okay? Every act of oppression is self-defeating. And today we are specifically talking about white supremacy. Okay? In my manifesto, in the body section, right? In the section about the self, where I purport that the self is made up of universal consciousness, the body, and your environment. Like, that is what creates your self-identity. That in the body, in the identity section, I talk about this. I give this example of oppression where I go, let's say there are two kids in a classroom, right? This is white supremacy. Let's say there's two kids in a classroom. The white child only has to do 5 push-ups to pass the class. The black kid has to do 15 push-ups to pass the class. Okay? Who is it easier to pass the class? It's easier for the white kid to pass the class, right? But who's going to come out stronger? The black kid. Right? Because the black kid has to train to be able to do 15 push-ups in a row. That means that the black kid's got to be able to do 8 push-ups in a row, and 9 push-ups in a row, and 10 push-ups in a row. The white kid only has to do 5 push-ups in a row. So white supremacy is this system. It's this really self-defeating system that, one, and I say this to people all the time, if you're a white supremacist in 2025, it is strictly because you're a loser. Let me say this again. If you are a white supremacist in 2025, the only reason to be a white supremacist in 2025 is literally because you're a loser. Let me help you understand why. First of all, Africans didn't come here and enslave ourselves. Your whole race issue is one that you created. You created this idea of whiteness for the purpose of subjugation, right? Race in itself is a novel concept. It's a novel concept in human history. We did not split. Yes, we split ourselves amongst tribes, ethnicities, but skin color was not one of them. Race is a novel concept. You guys create these classes of whiteness. You guys create these classes of blackness for the sole purpose of subjugation. You come up with all this race science, all this bullshit for the purpose of subjugation, right? You institutionalize your white supremacy, right? With the United States Constitution. You do all this stuff. You do all this stuff for the sole purpose of perpetuating the idea that if you have white skin, you were born to rule. That if you had white skin, you already had good character. Again, one of our core problems of our issue today is it's not that they lie. It's just that we back off the truth. We just stop saying the truth. No. Don't let the white supremacists concede ground now. You motherfuckers was teaching for the longest time that if you have white skin, you are inherently have better character than those people around you. The problem with you guys is you allow the white supremacists to make arguments in 2025 as if they don't have beliefs from the 1800s. That's one of the reasons why we have an issue with white supremacy. No. You guys believe that any person with white skin has good character. That is what white supremacists have always taught. When you don't get to 2025 and then back off of that and act like white supremacy is still a thing. No. Y'all created this shit. It's the same thing with the N-word. It's the same thing with the N-word. This is a problem they created. You guys called us the N-word, right? Use it as a way to, demean us, right? Call us out of our names, oppress us. What happened? We eventually got our freedom because we strong like that. We don't got to perpetuate lies for people to submit to us. We don't have to perpetuate lies for people to mess with us. That's what the white supremacists have to do. They don't have a choice. If you just dealt with them off of the truth of who they are, you wouldn't bother with them. These guys are losers. This is why they have to rely on white supremacy as a core belief. They need it to be a core belief, because without white supremacy, without the idea, without the belief that white people are inherently better, these people are losers. So what did we do? We won. We won our freedom. We won our equality, right? We won our humanity. And so now here we are in 2025, and now black people say, nigga this, nigga that, nigga that. You gotta say the N-word. That ain't our fault. No. And the issue is not, you can't say the N-word. You can say the N-word. You just don't have a government who's going to protect you from the consequences of saying the N-word. That's your issue, because you're weak and you're a loser. You need the government to go, hey, you can say this word, right? Again, you guys concede too much ground to bad faith actors. Who is saying you can't say the N-word? You can say it. There's just consequences. Your channel gets demonetized. Brands don't mess with you. You lose sales. But say the N-word. Knock yourself out. Again, if you live your truth, most human beings don't fuck with you, because you're losers. They're losers. So if they live their true identity, nobody would fuck with them. So they gotta depend on lies. They gotta depend on misinformation. They gotta depend on race science. Because nobody messes with these guys without the lies, without the extra stuff. Now they're upset. We can't say the N-word. Yeah, you can. There's just consequences. Maybe somebody put hands to you. Maybe you lose your job. But just because you are too much of a pussy to live how you actually want to live, don't mean that you gotta force the rest of us to live to your lies. Do you see what I'm saying? White supremacy is a system enforced by people who are too afraid to live their truth. So they need everybody else to submit to their identity. They need everybody else to submit to their lies. They need everybody else to believe the lies because they're too afraid to live the truth. And so what they do is they create these self-defeating systems. You oppress black people and then they get stronger because you oppress them. Right? You oppress women and now women are ahead and they don't want nothing to do with you. And now you mad that you can't get a woman, and so now you red pill. That's your fault. That's your fault. You oppressed women for hundreds of years. They learned how to survive with little. So when you gave them more, they got out of here, bro. I say the same again. Look at team sports. Y'all left black people out of that thing for years, decades. What happened as soon as y'all let black people get in that thing? Yep, give us that home run record. Yep, we'll take baseball. Y'all can have Tom Brady in football. Yep. They create these issues, like the oppression itself forces the oppressed to be stronger, right? This is why all we have to do, truth is resistance. Our issue with white supremacy is not that people are white supremacists. The issue is we don't just keep saying that they're white supremacists. We eventually stop. We eventually stop calling the con man a con man. We eventually stop calling the criminal because the courts don't want to call him a criminal. No, I'm going to call that nigga a criminal. He a criminal. If it's coming from everyone, everywhere, all at once, what are they going to do? There's literally not enough jail cells for everybody. That's your issue, America. These guys create self-defeating issues. The only reason why they're in power is because we agree to their self-defeating bullshit. But when we agree to their self-defeating bullshit, we go down with them. Right? White people hate being white. I was thinking about this the other day, bro. I was thinking about like how there's some experiences as a black person that white people don't get to have because I'm black. Like, there's this guy on TikTok. There's this taxi driver on TikTok, this white guy on TikTok, this old guy. And he's like always rapping these rap songs. And so it's always cool to see him, this old white guy, rapping this, this trap music. You know what I'm saying? Like he rapping this trap music. And it's always cool to see someone appreciate your culture, to see someone who has no part of your culture experience it, appreciate it, and enjoy it. Guys, white people don't have that. And you know why white people don't have that? Because the entire history of whiteness is colonizing and oppression and biting other people's styles. Of course it sucks to be white in 2025 when there is a democracy of information. Of course it sucks to be white now. Yeah, it sucks to be white now. Your entire legacy is built on a lie, bro. Yeah, your white kids feel guilty. Yes, because your grandparents, your great-grandparents were pieces of shit. Yes, bro, yes. When the truth gets disseminated, yes, white people look bad in human history. That's not our fault, bro. That's not our fault. They look like the fucking colonizers they look like. It's not our fault. They look like the fucking oppressors that they were. That is our problem. It's not white guilt. It's fucking truth. There is nothing. Guys, I'm going to say it. I am going to say it. From a grand scheme of things, whatever you think you're proud about to be white, it came off the blood of some other race or ethnic group. So therefore, you can't be proud about your whiteness. You've created an issue. You created the issue. We didn't implement white supremacy. You implemented white supremacy. You could not maintain it. And now that there is a democracy of information, everybody know the jigs is up. So now you feel bad about being white like that's our fault. Yeah, you feel bad about the white people who don't feel bad about being white understand that there's no who cares if you're white? Like, who cares if I'm black? You guys are the people who make race an issue. Then they go, oh, why is everything about race? Because you motherfuckers made it about race. You assholes went 2 weeks across the Atlantic Ocean to go get some Africans, sent them over here, called them blacks, called them the N-words, made them slaves, and now you want to bitch about racism? It's your fault. You are the reason there's racism, white supremacists. You created the issue you're mad about, and you're blaming other people because that's what white supremacy is. White supremacy is a bunch of weak people blaming other people for the fact that they're losers. That's it. In 2025, maybe you could have said in the 1800s these guys were cunning, which you really couldn't. You really couldn't. Maybe you could have made an argument back then it was a source of power, a source of maybe. It's still unethical as fuck. But now it's like, bro, it's 2025 and your greatest claim to fame is the color of your skin. My nigga, you a loser, bro. No amount of oppression is going to change the fact that you a loser. The reason why you feel bad about being white is because it's the color of your skin. You're not supposed to feel anything about it, you dumb fuck. That's why you feel bad about it. That's why. That's not our fault. You guys were the people who said people should feel a type of way about their skin. Now that you don't feel good about your skin, it's our fault? No. White supremacists created the problem that they're talking about, that they're mad about right now. That's your fault. If you're bad, if you feel bad about being white, crazy fucking idea. Don't put so much stock in your whiteness. Don't do it. You want to say the N-word, say it. It just comes with consequences. That's your fault. You created the word to weaponize it. Now that the weapon's turned on you, what you mad about? Right? So this is something that I really want people to see. I talk about this a lot in my manifesto. Like, oppression is anti-evolutionary, and it always eats itself. 100% of the time, it eats itself. Every single issue white supremacists are talking about is an issue they created. Oh, nobody cares about white men. How about white men care about white men? You guys are literally the largest demographic in the fucking country. If nobody cares about white men, it's because the elite white men don't give a fuck about you. How does the average white man, average white boy not feel great in a country where nearly all the billionaires are white? Y'all don't. Why is that our fault? Why do we gotta turn down who we are because you suck at being who you are? That's your fault. It's your fault. It's your elite's fault. It's those white elites that y'all been praising. It's those people's fault. It's those people's fault. It's not our fault. And we not turning down our blackness. We not turning down our gender identity. We not turning down our sexuality. We not turning down our speech. We not turning down our rhetoric. We not turning down who we are because you feel bad about being white. That's your fault. You the dumbass that's trying to feel something about his skin color. You're stupid. That's your fault. The rest of us, we just exist. Oh, I'm black. Yeah, okay, cool. What does that mean? Who cares? You are the people who made this a thing. Every single issue the white supremacists are complaining about is an issue there's too many illegal immigrants. Nigga, when has black people ever controlled anything, my nigga? We had one black president who didn't even really do much for black people that much, bro. Like, he wasn't even super progressive. Literally, him being black sent you guys over the edge. Like, you're just you have a fragile ideology. White supremacy is a fragile ideology that needs the rest of the world to bend in on itself. And when it doesn't, it collapses. All we have to do is say the truth. We don't got to do anything else. No, if you are a white supremacist today, you believe that white people have good moral character because they are white. That is what white supremacists believe. I'm not letting you update your white supremacist belief in 2025, bro. No, bro. All I gotta do is find one bad white guy, and that disproves all of white supremacy. You created the rules. This is what I'm saying, bro. We're just better than you at your own shit. This is why we got out of slavery. Did anybody, and it's not a black thing, any person, other white people who don't put so much stock in race ideology, they're gonna have a better life too. They're gonna be better at life. They're gonna be more successful. All right, I'm over talking, but I want to get that message out to people and help people understand. Oppression is self-defeating. White supremacy is eating itself and is mad at the rest of us. All right, love you guys. Bye.